everybody. Today we'll be learning about ratio. Simplified. Basically, what is ratio? Ratio, to give it to you blankly, is comparison. Between two numbers. Okay, so how is in comparison? So, right, look. We say it's comparison. Ratio is comparison between two numbers or more numbers. This is not accurate. It's two or more numbers. Okay, so now I have talked till here. What is something that you immediately think about? I'm guessing most of you would thought about the topic. Yes, you're right. Fractions. Okay, we have had two videos about fraction. One which is basic and the other one is more, how you say, it's more sophisticated. We go more deep into the subject. So these two videos are available in the link in the comment section below. Feel free to look at it first before you attend this video if you have any queries. You only have to look at the simplified version, the first one. The second one is for enrichment. It will help a lot though. So what are ratios anyways? Okay, we know that fractions are, for example, 1 out of 3 and 2 out of 4. So the main thing about the difference between ratio and fractions is that fractions, we look at it as one number, right? 2 out of 4, 1 out of 3. They're one number. But for ratios, let me show you what are ratios. Ratio. They are like 1 to 2. We say to 2. And 2 to 3, for example. In this, we don't take it as a whole number, but instead, we take it as two numbers comparing each other. You get what I mean? I'll show you. So when you think of the word ratios, think of 1 out of 2, 1 to 2. All right, I slipped there. You see? Fractions, we say 1 to 2, 1 out of 2, as in a whole number. But in ratio, they mean the same thing, 1 to 2. For example, when you go out on a picnic and you have one apple to share between two people, you say that each people has half an apple, which is in fraction is 2 out of 4 or 1 out of 2. One apple divided by two people. But in ratio is half an apple to every person. One apple to every person, 1 to 2. One apple to every two person. You get me? If you don't, never mind. Rewatch this video again and again. Seek clarification. This is the key to learning math. Okay, so now we have learned what ratios are. Let's move on. Now we have known all these. Then what? After we learn that ratios, okay, is comparison between two numbers, then what? Well, the second step to making sure you have learned ratios fully is to convert them from fractions to ratios and from ratios to fractions. So for the first question, I'll give you a question. How do you, okay, so another thing we have to take note of is ratio. Okay, for example, there's a ratio 2 to 7. It's equals to x to 14, say. Then what is x? This is a very elementary question if you really understand ratio. Partly algebra, but it's not really used in here. If you want to learn about algebra, you can watch my video on algebra by subscribing, tapping the like, and commenting. Moving on, how do we find out the answer? Well, firstly, we have to know a basic concept first. So we know that 2 to 7 is equals to x to 14. The scenario, for example, is for every 2 days, Tom can eat 7 cakes. So we know that Tom can eat 7 cakes, right? But what if he eats 14 cakes? Using the same rate, how many days does he need? Okay, let's do a simple calculation here. So for example, you have 14 cakes, so 7 times 2 equals 14. And the same thing, 2 days times 2 equals 4. It needs to be ratio. Ratio, you get that? Or proportional. Proportional we'll cover in another video. It is almost same as ratio. But for today, it'll be this. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more interesting videos on X Math.